Okay.
All right, well, you know her as the lead singer of the Go-Go's. You've seen her on Dancing with the Stars. You heard her single career. Now Belinda Carlisle has a new memoir. It's called Lips Unsealed. It is very honest and a fascinating look at her life and her career. She joins us now live to talk about it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, let's start with just the raw honesty in this book. Just reading through it myself, I think there's a lot of your fans will probably know some of your backstory, but I think you'll have a lot of readers who won't. What do you want people to take away from this?
Well, I mean, I always knew I had a book in me. I've had an extraordinary life, and I was a drug addict and alcoholic for 30 years. And 5 years ago, with my sobriety, I decided that it was time to write a book that could ultimately be helpful to people who are struggling with addictions, eating disorders. I've run the gamut. Self-esteem issues and self-sabotage, with a rock and roll backdrop. But ultimately, the book is an inspirational book for people who are struggling with those issues. And you know, it's a dark story. It's a rock and roll story, but also it's at the end of the day, it's a very happy ending.
I want to ask you about something that the publisher sent along some notes here, and you talk about not just depression and dealing with some of the drug issues, but imposter syndrome. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
The publisher sent along some notes, and I just want to. I've never heard of imposter syndrome, and that's what one of the things was listed. Is that right, or imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome. Oh, well, you know, I never felt that I was worthy of my success, and that goes back to, I mean, that probably is the same hole in the soul that a lot of us drink and use over. But I never really felt worthy, and it comes from my childhood. And, you know, especially when you have artists that have been around for years, I mean, that have struggled and never made it. For the Go-Go's, from the inception of the band, and we had no idea how to do anything, and we did it all ourselves, to becoming the biggest band 2.5 years later. I mean, it was crazy. So you have all sorts, I had all sorts of guilt feelings about that too, but I never really felt that I was, I always felt it was all a dream, probably up until I got sober, actually. I never really felt, why are people bothering with me, you know, and I always felt that it was all going to disappear, and it was never really there in the first place. I talk about it in the book.
Yeah, and there you are, not feeling worthy of success, and yet you've got literally millions of fans. And so with all those things going on, were you able to enjoy being a part of the Go-Go's and that success? And did you enjoy your single career, or was it more difficult than we've probably realized?
No, you know something? I loved it, and you know, I had some amazing times. 99.9% of of my experiences have been very positive and fun, and so it's not all doom and gloom at all. But you know, underneath it all is the struggle with those personal things that run very deep. At times did make it hard to enjoy what should have been, you know, amazing moments, like when the album hit #1. In the States, out of nowhere, you know, I was on a bender that I you know, crying and not really feeling, just feeling like it was, I didn't deserve that. So it's an interesting story. And Belinda, I think it's a story that people, no matter even what I do, people can relate to it.
Yeah, you know, I think it really will move people. And before I let you go, you seem to be doing great now. You seem to be, you know, you look great, you sound great. How are things for you now? And did I read that you're living overseas? Is that right?
I've been living in France for 18 years, and I'm between France and India actually now. My life is. That's the other thing about this book, is life is not over at 50. In fact, you know, in a time when a lot of women and men too think that their life is over or winding down because their kids leave, it's not like that at all. And my life is better than it's ever been, and I'm doing things I never thought I'd be doing, and it's great. And it's all due to sobriety, actually.
Congratulations on this memoir, and certainly the people it will inspire, probably already has inspired. Great to catch up with you, and thanks for spending some time with us this morning. That is Belinda,
thank you so much.
That is Belinda Carlisle. The book is called Lips Unsealed. out now. We're going to listen to her as we go to break, and up next, if you missed it this morning, we did say goodbye to Holly Maynard. We're going to look back at Holly's time at 13.